Hi, I'm your host Lucy, and this is
Zeil. I'm back once again.
He's back once again. This is gonna be our part three of our case on Jeffrey Dahmer. Thank God this will be our final part.
Yeah.
Right. This has been a long part. Oh my God, it's been a doozy, and so I'm actually dressed up. I'm like trying
In the
to
Halloween spirit.
yeah, in the Halloween spirit. And so we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Dahmer once again. Some disclaimers: this case will include cannibalism, pedophilia, necrophilia, mutilation of body parts, and more. So if you are uncomfortable with these topics, please go take care of yourself and join us in our next session, which will be on a new case. And if you have any recommendations, I have a Google form linked in this video. Well, in the YouTube video. So the YouTube, I upload the videos whenever I get to editing them. It's posted on Alance's Media Lab. And so, yeah, and I usually go live weekly on our virtual studio on the radio.
Wednesdays at 12:30.
Yeah, Wednesdays at 12:30. Whoa, bro, we got memorized. So let's get started. So last where we left off at the ninth murder of the victim of David Thomas. And so we're going to go into the 10th murder, which was on February 1991, right? So Dahmer would be observing a 17-year-old named Curtis Slaughter standing at a bus stop near a university, right?
Okay.
And so he would...
His name is Curtis? Curtis Connor, would you say?
Curtis Slaughter.
Curtis Slaughter. Okay.
Yeah. So Dahmer will lure Slaughter into his apartment and... Take a guess what he did, bro.
He drugged him and then had sex with him and then killed him?
No, bro. The $50. He lured him into his apartment with $50.
Oh, okay. The classic amount.
The infamous $50. Hey, come to my
That's
place.
like a killing people hack. Like, I can't believe that works this often.
Every single victim has been lured to his house was because of $50.
Well, that's $150. So is a lot of money, or 120.
Yeah. Like $50 back then was like quite a lot.
Yeah, it's over double what it is now.
It must be nice.
And everything's way cheaper back then too, so they could buy more.
Like, imagine having to go get a milkshake for like $1.
Yeah,
a big ass glass of milkshake for $1. Like, oh my God.
You can't get anything for $1 anymore.
I can't.
There's no place.
Even Dollar Tree, everything's not $1. It's like $1 and something cents, and I'm like, girl,
okay, we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
We have to finish. This is the last part. This is the final, the finale of Jeffrey Dahmer.
You're right. And so basically, he lured to his house to pose for nude photos and to have sexual intercourse with this 17-year-old, by the way.
Yikes.
So Dahmer would drug him and cuff him behind his back and then strangle Slaughter with a leather strap. Oh. He would dismember him, keep his skull, hands, and genitalia, and Dahmer would photograph each stage of this dismemberment process, right? So classic. I don't like saying it, but like classic Dahmer.
Yeah, classic Dahmer stuff. It's weird that he must have really hated that last guy that he didn't take pictures of or didn't take any, he didn't keep anything. Do you remember the one guy that he didn't keep anything from?
Yes.
Because he just didn't like him?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Oh my God, bro. So the 11th murder on April 7th, 1991. So this was February, March, April. So 1 month later, right?
Did not wait very long.
Yeah, less than 2 months later, Dahmer encountered a 19-year-old named Errol Lindsley, walking out to get a key cut. So, do you know what a key cut is?
Nope. Haircut?
No, it's not a haircut. Key cut is when you're getting a duplication of a key that already exists. So let's say you lost your key or you want to give your friend your key.
A second key, you put the key in and then gives that another one.
Yeah. So it's a second key. So Dahmer would lure Lindsley to his apartment, assuming it's the same $50. Oh my God. He would be drugged and he would do something different. So all this time he would strangle his victims or he would assault them.
Yeah, he'd hit them really hard one time and they'd be gone.
So instead, he would do this after they're drugged. He would drill a hole in Lindsley's skull and inject hydrochloric acid with a bastard. So hydrochloric acid, it's a strong corrosive, poisonous acid, if you guys don't know. It's really corrosive to the skin, eyes, and like mucous membrane. And exposure to this can cause severe burns, ulcers, and scarring. So it's made with it's used for fertilizers, dyes, and chlorides. And so imagine having that injected into your brain. Like it's already like causing so many like burns
just
on your
gonna
skin. Oh my
what
god.
he probably just he's like doing what kids do at the lunchroom where they just pour a bunch of stuff to make a huge mess, see what
Oh
happens.
my goodness.
It's like that, but in a brain. Sorry, keep going.
Oh my god. And so a bastard is like a big dropper used for cooking, like especially like chicken.
Yeah,
and,
or turkey.
Like,
I've seen it
yeah.
on Thanksgiving.
I don't. You
don't like turkey?
I don't know. I don't like turkey. It's like it's not that I don't like turkey. It's
You just haven't had good turkey.
I've never had turkey.
You never had turkey a single time? Well, what do you eat during Thanksgiving? Ham?
Dude, I'm Asian. I have all these Asian
I forgot.
cuisines.
Yeah, never mind.
And so Dahmer would do this, and Lindsay would actually wake up during this experiment. And so
she woke up while I was not.
He.
Oh, okay.
Dahmer only goes after dudes. So yeah, he woke up during this experiment. And so the reason why he was doing this experiment was he was hoping that it would cause permanent unresistible submissive state on Lindsay. So like do you remember that fantasy Dahmer has of like
he thought it would just create like
just like a zombie.
Completely submissive, like do whatever.
Yeah, like brain dead almost.
Yeah.
And so he would decapitate Lindsay and keep his skull because like it didn't work. And Lindsay would be like, "Oh, I have a headache. What time is it?" And he's like, "You know what? This shit ain't working." He strangled him.
What? So they didn't die with having the
He didn't die instantly. He probably like he felt it.
He probably was going to die because he's probably under a lot of medication.
Yeah, he was heavily drugged.
Oh God, I can't.
Yeah, I'm
so bad.
Sorry. Yeah, so it was just not going well. So
he woke up, he died. He woke up, he got strangled.
He woke up, and Dahmer's like, "Fuck, I gotta."
Yeah, he's like back to basics.
Yeah, and so he would like decapitate him, keep his skull, the usual. He would skin Lindsay's body and place it in cold water and salt for several weeks. So he hoped this would he could preserve his skin. And Dahmer would dispose of Lindsay's skin when it became too brittle and frayed. And actually, fellow residents of like the apartment complex that Dahmer lived in would like continue to complain about the buildings to the building's manager, like the smells that was coming from Dahmer's
apartment.
Yeah, and along with the sounds of falling objects and occasional sounds of a chainsaw. And so like the owner of the manager of the apartment would be like, "Hey, yo, Dahmer, like, what are these smells?
Yeah, why does it smell so bad? Why are the chainsaw in the middle of the night?" Yeah. Very fair questions to ask.
Dahmer will be like, "Oh, the odors are emitting from the apartment because of his freezer breaking, causing the contents to become spoiled."
Oh, okay. That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good excuse, actually.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't think like he's lying. He's killing people. There's a bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah. But I feel like police have actually said there is a specific scent to something rotting and decaying, so like a body compared to spoiled food. There's like a difference, but I don't know. I've never smelled one.
Me neither.
But like I feel like
I don't.
Yeah, because like some police officers say the moment they step in a house and they smell that smell, they're like,
they know that's a dead person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they probably just are around dead people a lot.
Yeah, maybe. So, Dahmer would also say several of his tropical fish have recently died. That's why the odor would be. I think there was a mention that he did. So the 12th murder, this was May 24th, 1991. So how long was this? I don't know my months. This was like literally a month later, right?
Okay.
So Dahmer would encounter a 31-year-old aspiring model. So this is his second or third aspiring model that was a victim to him, named Tony Hughes at a nightclub. He was lured to Dahmer's apartment, and he was offered money.
$50.
I guess people be doing a lot for $50 back then. Like we said earlier. So $50 to pose for photographs, right? We're assuming it's nude. It didn't say it was nude, but
it's probably nude.
Yeah, most of the time it was nude. And so Hughes was drugged and was knocked unconscious by Dahmer again, and Dahmer would do the same experiment, drill a hole in his head and put hydrochloric acid in his skull. And so he was still trying to make him submissive like his last attempt.
Yeah.
And once again, He
Did
failed.
not work.
He failed. And so later, Dahmer, like 2 days later, Dahmer would encounter a 14-year-old Laos teenager named Conera.
It's a cool name.
Hold on.
Cornera, like
It's
Star
this
Fox.
is a Laos name, so I'm gonna struggle.
Okay.
Conera Sintazonphone. Sintazonphone. I guess.
Cornera Zintazone phone. Okay.
My
He got
my
her.
fault if I said
You
it
got him?
wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I tried looking up how to say it, and I wrote it photogenically. I could be wrong. I'm so sorry. So, on Wisconsin.
Did you say photogenically?
Photogenically?
Phonetically.
Phonetically. I spell it photogenically or
It's fine.
something. Whoopsies. So, on Wisconsin Avenue,
Mhm.
so Dahmer would offer Conera money to pose for Polaroid pictures at his apartment, right?
Mhm.
And Conera was initially like reluctant to the proposal, and he
Wow.
would
For the
change.
first time.
Yeah, he'd be like, he's 14.
Yeah.
You know, he's like,
Of course he
well,
is.
actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he said yes, because like a 14-year-old, like he would probably think like, oh my god, guess how many comics I
Yeah,
can
but
get.
he probably has
But
very
also,
good
like,
self-preservation instincts. Like if Jeffrey Dahmer
Mhm.
came up to you, I feel like some part of most
But,
people
like,
would be like,
okay.
this guy's a little weird. This guy's a little.
Yeah. Well, like, here's the thing. Like, you know, back then Jeffrey Dahmer, wasn't. This was like when he wasn't like,
Yeah, known.
being caught or anything yet.
Yeah, but he probably just was a
still.
creepy guy. I can imagine as a
Yeah.
14-year-old, if I saw him, he'd probably look really creepy.
Mhm. So,
He does look creepy.
yeah,
Like, you see the pictures of him, his glasses, the hair, greasy.
some people actually.
Some people
find
think
him
he's really attractive.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a whole serious. That's a whole other topic. You could do a whole podcast just about the fact that people like serial killers. You could,
Mm-mm.
because like psychology-wise, you could say a lot. That says a lot about people
Yes.
and like what
So
people
there's
find
actually
attractive.
some people. I'm thinking about doing a case on this next. There's this. He's known as the Joker.
Mhm.
And so it was this dude that this is quite recent.
Mhm.
He was being tried for killing, I believe, 2 women and
Okay.
like trying to kill his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
And people saw him in court photos and stuff, be like, oh my god, he's so hot, he looks like the Joker,
Uh-huh.
I can fix him, blah blah.
No.
One of the girls he killed, he said, I ran her over and over again, like going back and forth until she looked like spaghetti.
Why would anyone want to be attracted to someone like that? Like if
I
I heard
don't
if I heard that
know.
about somebody, I'd be like, wow, okay, that person's
You
insane.
need help.
Yeah.
So
Wait. Let's.
yeah. So Conera, like, he was reluctant at first, but he would change his mind to pose for 2 pictures in his underwear.
Okay.
And so Dahmer would drug Conera with sleeping pills, and this would lead Conera and would lead him to his bedroom where Tony Hughes' body was laying naked. So that's where we left off. He didn't like decapitate him or anything.
Uh-huh.
And so Dahmer believed that Conera saw this body and didn't react because, one, he was like under
Out of it.
Yeah, because of all the sleeping medication.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I don't know how, like, he didn't react to seeing the bloated corpse of Tony.
Mhm.
So Dahmer would drill a narrow hole into the crown of Conera's skull, and Dahmer would inject hydrochloric acid into, Conera's frontal lobe.
Yeah.
Right. Dahmer would actually sleep. Dahmer would actually drink several beers laying beside Conera before falling asleep, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he would then leave his apartment to drink at a bar and purchase more alcohol with Conera still in his apartment and the body of Tony, right?
Right.
Yeah. So in the early.
How is this not how he got caught? This sucks.
I don't know. Actually, he was about to get caught. So this is where he actually was about to get caught.
Mhm.
So in the early morning of like May 27th, so like in the, like maybe like 3 a.m., 5 a.m. or something, a naked boy we spotted staggering in the city street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right?
Right.
And so he would be talking to 3 distressed women, and his body bore signs of trauma, and he appeared to be very confused. And Dahmer will actually approach this woman and be like, telling them, oh, that boy, his name is John Hong, and he's my friend.
Yeah.
And 3
He
women were
said
like,
that.
and the 3 women would be like, oh, hell nah, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Like,
Yeah. 14-year-old child. And he's in his underwear.
This child.
Yeah, it was a naked boy, or like
Yeah.
partially naked boy. That's insane.
This was a naked naked boy. And so the three women called 911, and Dahmer would claim that the naked boy was his 19-year-old lover. And he explained that they'd been drinking and that his lover wandered off while he went to go and get more beer for them. Dahmer would add his lover has consumed Jack Daniels whiskey that evening, and the three women didn't believe him and attempted to show the officers that the boy was not okay. So they would the three women would be like, oh, he has blood on his testicles, like he's bleeding from his rectum, and like he's obviously struggling against Dahmer's attempt to walk him to the apartment. Officers would be like, wouldn't believe him, believe the woman, and they only saw the scrape on his knee. They only believe that there's no other injury beyond the
Why
scrape
would
on his knee,
the
and that he was intoxicated.
dude? How come every single time like the cops that show up to like stop the serial killers are like the most incompetent fucks like
I
of
know
all
it is.
time?
Oh, there is so many cases. Like I wish I could get into like almost every single case where the victims could have been saved.
Yeah,
we could
because
have
the cops
prevented
are just
more.
not doing anything.
Yeah, they'll not do anything. They're just not doing a good job.
Yeah,
Like what they're supposed to be doing. And so,
Zodiac killer, he just got away. He got away with it. Like cops never found him.
I'm like sleepy.
You're good.
And so the officers would like tell the woman like butt out, like shut the hell up, and not to interfere. And the three members of
Yeah, what do they know?
yeah, what do you women know?
Yeah, dumbass.
And so three members of the fire department arrived at the scene and they'll explain the boy's injuries and examine his injuries and provide a yellow blanket for the police officers to cover him. And one of them believed he needed treatment, like now. He needs to go to the hospital.
Yeah, why? I don't understand. He had a hole drilled in his head, right? Like,
I don't know.
how did this happen? How did they not realize that? Oh, this guy. Anyway, keep going. But they're like, you gotta get to the hospital.
No, they didn't take him to the hospital because
No,
the
of course
officers
not.
would told them. They told the fire department personnel to leave, like get out, like you don't know what the hell you're doing. And so they would accommodate Dahmer and the boy back to the apartment and found the photographs of the boy in his underwear. And so Dahmer would show these officers the photograph to prove that they were lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And the boy was told to sit on the couch next to his folded clothes. And the police would leave the apartment. And the apartment was described to be well kept by the police and neat, but it did have an unpleasant odor, which was from Tony's decomposing body, right? And so the officers would peek their head around the bedroom and didn't really take a good look to investigate the odor. For some reason, they missed the body.
The dead body.
Yeah,
they looked at a dead body.
When they say there's a disturbing odor, I feel like it's not just any disturbing odor.
Yeah.
It is a rotting scent.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like I don't know how you could make that rotting scent. Like, it wouldn't smell like mold or
also
something.
The fact it's all like a naked 14-year-old boy and Dahmer was like, oh yeah, he's 19. He's 19. Yeah. No ID, no phone call, no asking him like, oh, you sit over there and we'll like look around.
Also Chris Hansen, like how oh, she looks like she was 18 in this
I thought
photo.
She was 12 or like
I thought she was 18. She says she was 18.
She looks 18.
I didn't believe she was. She said she was 12, but I had to come here and check myself.
I don't understand how a 14-year-old could possibly pass for a 19-year-old. Some people like
if you look at photos of Conero, he doesn't look 19. He's a kid.
Yeah, he looks like a 14-year-old. Like he looks
like
a 14-year-old.
He looks like a kid. And so the boy was left behind by the police, and he wasn't 19. He was actually, Conero, the 14-year-old. And so the incident was listed by police as a domestic dispute. And when the officers left, Dahmer would inject more hydrochloric acid into Conero's brain, and the second injection would be fatal. And so on May 28th, Dahmer would take work off to focus on dismembering Conero and Tony's bodies, and he would keep both of their skulls. Right.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Way to go. Dude, if the fire department if they just taken him to the hospital, Dahmer would have gone to jail, like right there.
Yeah. So this is on June 30th, so a month later.
Dude, imagine being those cops. Like, imagine knowing, like, you hear about the story and you're like, that was me. I saw that kid. I know Conero.
I know. It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them, though. They're retarded. I mean, like, I don't know how you could possibly make that mistake.
They're just stupid.
Yeah.
I wish they they got themselves.
This is what I mean about cops, like because the cops, like to be a cop in America, it's like 6 months basic training. Like
and
that is not enough time to be a cop, a police officer. There's no way. 6 months, you get a gun, you can get a badge, you get a car, you can drive as fast as you want.
And
no
a taser
way.
gun.
That's insane. I cannot believe they do that in America. Because in Switzerland, it's like 2 years. 2 years shadowing a cop before you can be a cop.
Excuse me. So Dahmer would travel to Chicago, where he would meet a 20-year-old named Matt Turner at a bus stop. And Turner would accept Dahmer's offer to travel to Milwaukee for a professional photo shoot for, guess what? $50. And so Dahmer would drug, strangle, and dismember Turner's body. And he would place Turner's head and internal organs in separate plastic bags in the freezer. And Turner would actually not be reported missing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like somebody cared.
So July 5th, so like a couple days later, he would meet a 23-year-old named Jeremiah Way Baker. I can't read. From Chicago, right? So Jeremiah would be lured into his apartment for $50 to spend the weekend with him. So he would drug Jeremiah and he would inject boiling water into his skull instead now, twice. And this would send Jeremiah into a coma and he would die 2 days later.
Yikes.
Like instead of hydrochloric acid, it's boiling water.
Dude,
I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse.
I would not want either, personally.
Me neither, but like, what is worse? 10 days later, Dahmer would encounter
the boiling water. The boiling water is definitely worse. I think. There's no way. Because like hydrochloric acid, like it's gonna corrode, like because like it's gonna corrode your pain sensors. So like you have the nerves there that like tell your brain, oh, there's pain, are just gonna disappear. They're gonna be eaten away. But boiling water doesn't do that. You know, boiling water is just gonna hurt a lot.
Okay. Why am I thinking about this so much?
Keep going. Let's keep going.
So 10 days later, July 15, Dahmer would encounter a 24-year-old Oliver Lancey in the corner of 27th Street, right? And Dahmer would trick Lancey with the lie of posing for nude photographs for $50. And so Dahmer and Lancey would engage in sexual intercourse. And Dahmer would try to prolong the time he had with Lancey. And he would attempt to render Lancey unconscious with chloroform.
Chloroform?
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I can't speak.
You're good.
And it was unsuccessful. And so he would take the day off of work, and Dahmer would strangle Lancey, and he would have sex with his corpse before dismembering him. And Dahmer would place Lancey's head and heart in the refrigerator and his skeleton in the freezer. July 19th is when Dahmer would actually hear that he was dismissed from work.
Oh.
So when he took the day off, he was actually suspended the next day. And so
taking too many days off.
So that was the 16th murder. So this is July 19th when he received the news of being dismissed from work. Dahmer would lure 25-year-old Joseph Bredoff to his apartment, and Bredoff would be strangled and left lying on Dahmer's bed, covered with a sheet for 2 days. And July 22nd, Dahmer will remove the sheet, discover Bredoff's head is covered in maggots.
Oh.
And so Dahmer would decapitate his head from his body and clean it before placing it in the refrigerator. Dahmer would acidify Bredoff's torso, and he would do the same to the other 2 victims he killed within the previous month. Right. And so to summarize this, right, that was the last murder.
Really?
That was his last.
So how many do you got? 18?
17.
17.
Yeah. So Dahmer would start developing. So as we saw, he developed rituals as he progressed with his killings and experimenting with chemicals.
Yeah, he tried a lot of different stuff. He tried a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, like putting hydrochloric acid.
Maybe he did like science, at least somewhat.
He was a really big science nerd, but it's just like for his own gain wise.
Yeah, true.
Not as in, I like to discover.
Not like I'm gonna cure cancer. Like I'm gonna just see what.
I just want to see if like hydrochloric acid would like.
Give me a sex doll. for real.
Yeah, like a real breathing sex doll instead of like a
Dude,
mannequin that my
thank God
grandma
that
threw
didn't
away.
work. Like, can you imagine if the story was like, and then it worked perfectly, and then now everybody who would ever read the story was like, oh, you can do that. You can make someone into it.
It's disgusting. So he would progress with his killings,
Mhm.
experiment chemicals to help with disposing of the body, and also consume. Sometimes he would consume the flesh. That's why he
Yeah,
the
because you mentioned
victims.
like he ate it like that one time. He cooked them up and he ate them.
Yes, and that was the reason why some of his victims like intestines, their heart was put in the fridge.
Yeah, so you could keep it.
So he could eat it for later.
I guess it saves money.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I'm just saying.
And so Dahmer would murder 17 men.
Mhm.
No, 18. Wait, no, 17. Yeah, 17. Oh my god, you
Yeah.
confused me when you said 18.
Sorry, yeah, yeah.
Jesus. Between 1978 to 1991. He was very careful with his victims. If you can't tell, he picked people who traveled from place to place or are borderline criminals most of the
Mhm.
time. This made their disappearances less noticeable and reduced the likelihood of
But-
his capture.
Yeah.
And Dahmer would lure them into his house with, the $50.
Yeah. So there was never like a struggle.
Mm.
People was like just walk in.
Yeah, and he would strangle them to death, right?
Mhm.
And Dahmer would then, engage in necrophilia with their body and keep their body parts and photos as souvenirs. So this was very similar to a case we did a while ago. Jerome Brudos, he
Mhm.
was the she fetish killer. He would also keep like
Trophies,
ghostly
like
trophies.
memories.
Yeah, same with actually the first one,
A
Ed
lot
Gein.
of serial killers, I guess, like in their mind, it's like it's something so not important, but like it's like the one thing they like doing. A
Yeah,
lot.
to keep like these ghostly trophies of them.
Yeah.
Like their specifically their body parts or something. Like they would never kill keep like
Articles of clothing, it was like them. Like
yeah,
them.
most of the time. Well, like okay,
Except for the shoe fetish guy, he kept the
yeah,
shoes.
like he kept their shoes and lingerie.
Did he get caught because of that?
No, he got caught. I'm trying to remember how he got caught. It was because I think because a girl like he almost
Snitched or something?
yeah.
I see.
Shoot, I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, it's okay. We
Yeah,
can finish.
just watch the episode, bro.
I will.
I will.
Because now I'm really curious because like you brought up this guy up a lot. This
Yeah.
episode's on your
If it's on and Lance's Video Lab
That one.
YouTube.
Okay.
And
Cool.
so the
18 people killed 17 people
mhm.
and then
So yeah, so his capture,
Mhm.
right, on July 22nd, 1991, Dahmer approached three men offering them $100. 100 now.
That was his first mistake.
100.
That was a mistake.
A different amount.
That was his lucky charm.
His $50?
Yeah. And now he just got 100. It's like he turned his back on it. That's why he lost.
So to come to his apartment and pose for new photos, drink beer, and keep him company, right?
Mhm.
And so 32-year-old Tracy Edwards agreed. A lot of these victims have the last name Edwards
What? I wonder why.
or Smith.
Maybe that just says like if you have that last name, you're probably gonna be broke, or a criminal.
Jesus fuck.
Maybe. Who knows?
I'm
just saying.
Funny. That's
You're
funny.
like-
That's funny. If you have this oh sorry, I keep you.
You're okay. I don't care.
If you have this last name,
You're broke.
Tracy
You're going to be broke.
Edwards or Smith, you are broke as hell and
Yeah.
you're going to get jumped. That's how you make it sound like. What the hell?
Well, I mean, like, I'm just calling it how I see it. Anyway, he asked 3 men. He's like, "Come to my house." I don't know why you would do that. Like, why would you do 3? Because then, like, how is he supposed? He can't drill a hole in all 3 of them at the same time. Like, you can't. I guess he could drug all 3 of them, but that seems just risky. Because if one of them is like, oh, "I'm not thirsty," I'm
because
alright.
like if you
How is no one like, oh, when he's like, "Do you want this drink?" You're like, "Nah, I'm alright. I'm okay." I'm all good.
yeah. I
'Cause-
feel like nowadays it's so much more common to like if you're specifically in like
Yeah,
I don't
because
know
like
for girl culture.
if you're offered a drink, like
oh
that
no,
you
not
don't.
offer a drink. Like if you're talking to a dude
Mhm.
like at anywhere like specifically like
bar?
at a bar or something, most of the time you will like most girls would cover their drink. I don't know if dudes do that, but like I know for sure it's a big thing for girls. You have to cover their drink.
I don't go to bars, but I would never think to cover. My
I've
drink.
never been to a bar either, but like it's a big thing in like girl culture.
Yeah, so you don't get roofied.
Yeah, or you don't get freaking I don't know drugs
Like sleeping
or some
pills,
shit. Yeah. And so moving on though, right?
Mm.
So actually 32-year-old Edward Tracy, right, in that group was like, yeah, I'll go. He was one of the three men, right?
Uh-huh.
And Edward noted the foul odor and several boxes of hydrochloric acid on the floor.
He left that on the floor?
Yeah, he just left it lying around.
Yikes.
And so Edwards was like, what's
Yeah,
this?
for the first time, someone was like, wait, guy, why is this here? And
Yeah.
then,
And so basically Dahmer would be like, oh, it's used for cleaning bricks.
oh, I thought he was 14. I thought he was 19. I thought he was 21.
Edward Tracy was 32.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, Dahmer is like,
How old is Dahmer at this point?
so
He was born-
1991. He was born in 1960, so 30 something.
Okay, so he's about this guy's age.
Yeah, and so basically,
He found the things.
I don't know,
hydrochloric acid.
like cleaning bricks. Like I don't know anyone that would like clean bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, I use this."
Oh, you used to clean my bricks. Classic. Oh, of course. Like that checks out.
Yes.
If someone told you that, would you believe them? Like,
No.
I use like hydrochloric acid. Well, now that you know what hydrochloric acid is, if you
Yeah.
see it on the floor, you should leave that house.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, ho.
Good to meet you.
Goodbye.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll take the $100.
No, not good to meet you.
Yeah, maybe
You-
not.
No. Like, oh my god, bro. He's such a weirdo. And so Dahmer would put handcuffs on Edward's wrist and when he was distracted, and Edward would be like, hey yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
And Dahmer would unsuccessfully attempt to cuff his wrists together. Edwards would then accommodate Dahmer to the bedroom and pose for nude photos. Edward noted the nude male poster on his wall, and a videotape of The Exorcist 3 was playing. So Edward saw this blue 57-gallon drum in the corner,
Mhm.
which was emitting a strong odor. Dahmer would then pull out a knife and threaten him, telling him he would take nude photos of him. And Edwards would be like, hey, because like at first, it was chill, but now he's
Yeah,
like,
now he's being threatened with a knife.
now he's like, hey, oh, okay, like we just did it, like we're chill,
Yeah.
we're okay. He would then try to undress himself once again,
Mhm.
and he had he's like scared. He has the
Yeah.
handcuffs. He's like, okay, I'm being threatened.
Mhm.
I need to get these handcuffs off. He was like, hey, like we're chill. Like, can you take these handcuffs off and we can do the new photo
Yeah,
shoot
do whatever
again?
you need to do.
Yep.
Just take the handcuffs off,
Just
and
take
then
the handcuffs off,
we're
put
good.
the knife away. We're chill as fuck.
Yeah.
And so Dahmer would then put his attention towards the TV where The Exorcist 3 was playing.
Mhm.
And he would walk back and forth, chanting before turning back towards Edwards. It's so weird. I've never watched The Exorcist.
I haven't either. So I don't know. I don't know what he would have been doing.
know, But it's like imagine like some like, hey, like just
Yeah, he was
uncuff
definitely-
me, just put the knife down.
Well, they said he had.
and just turn to the TV and just like,
They said he had like some kind of personality disorder, like
yeah, he had like
schizoid personality disorder. That's what it was.
Was it
Yeah.
personality disorder or schizopal? I don't remember.
Regardless, he was schizo. He was I mean, I don't know if he's
Not
schizophrenic.
Not schizophrenic. It was
Not
different.
schizophrenic.
It was different.
What is? I'm gonna look up what that means after.
I'm pretty sure I put up a
Schizoid.
Schizoid?
Yeah, schizoid personality disorder. I think that's what it was called, but I could be completely wrong. Can I use this?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I am actually curious. I know I put it in my notes. Hey guys, this script is long as hell. Give me a break, okay?
A chronic mental condition that causes people to have lifelong patterns of detachment from social relationships or limited
Yeah, it was
emotional expression.
pal. Yeah. So schizo personality, schizo pal.
Oh yeah, because that's the short.
Yeah. That's what it was. So yeah,
So he was crazy. He was rocking back and forth like a schizo.
Yeah, well, like, I'm not saying that's like a normal thing for schizo, but like maybe he was processing that. I don't know.
Maybe
why
he just liked the movie and he just wanted to.
I feel like
He could have just been a
mid
fan.
threat, he was like, "Oh shit, let me watch the movie."
Yeah, because he just really likes it. I swear that he would have had it playing.
I don't know. Maybe he just like that's his like.
That's his jam. It's his comfort movie. He needs
That's his freak music.
I guess so. He just needs to get
That's
in the
a
mood.
wrong word to
Don't
use in
say that.
this
Don't say
context.
freak. Yeah, not freak music.
That's like the wrong thing to use in this context.
Perchancely.
Perchancely.
Yeah, I can't say perchance because it's like too much like Family Guy. Because Peter says that. It's like perchance. Okay.
I'm sorry. It's such a stupid word. I can never
Perchancely.
previously. And so Dahmer would actually, after he turns back to Edwards, he would lay his head on Edwards' chest, listening to his heart beat, and like kind of drag and press the knife at his chest, be like, "I want to eat your heart."
Oh God.
Excuse me, this is not some cute role play.
Yeah, I want to eat
Put
your
the
heart.
knife
That's definitely
down.
not what he said.
That's what he said.
He did say that?
He laid his head on his chest, dragging the knife down, or like
Yeah.
pressing against his chest, like, "I want to eat your heart." I'm like,
Would you like that if someone did that to you?
no.
Well, I don't know. Hey man, I'm not gonna kink shame. I'm not gonna shame.
I'm not gonna
Oh, you
kink
don't
shame
know?
either. But like me personally, I mean, okay, in this situation, he's being threatened.
Yeah.
Maybe in like if like it was
Yeah.
like setting the right move. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I want to eat your heart a little bit. Like, okay.
Okay. You better.
Yeah.
My friend keeps doing that to me now. Like every time, like when I'm a joke, I'm like, "You look mad good." But oh my god, this is not funny. But yeah, since
Yeah.
he's being
He's gonna
threatened,
eat his heart.
he says he's gonna. "I want to eat your heart."
Okay.
And Edwards was like, "Oh hell nah." And so to prevent Dahmer from attacking him, he would be like, "Hey, we're best friends, even though we just
Mm-hmm.
we're really good friends. Like I'm not running away. I'm not gonna struggle. Like we
Yeah.
chill." And so Edwards decides that in his head, it's like, okay, I need to get away.
Yeah.
But if I irritate him,
Yeah,
or if I
I'll be
make
dead.
the slightest make him the slightest bit like
Suspicious.
suspicious, angry, or upset, he will attack me. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna have to jump out the window or run through the unlocked front door where he gets the opportunity to. Right. But now like this is like time is of the essence.
Yeah.
He doesn't know when Dahmer's gonna
When Dahmer's decided, like, okay, enough talk. I'm just gonna kill this guy.
enough playing around. He has a knife. Right. And so Edwards was like, okay, oh, I need to go to the restroom. Like, can we drink in the living room where there's AC? It's a little bit,
It's a little bit damp. Yeah, it's a little bit like toasty in here.
This bedroom. And Dahmer allowed it, and they would go to the living room. And Edwards would wait until Dahmer had a moment of concentration before requesting to use the restroom again. Right.
Mhm.
And Dahmer's be like, yeah, sure. And he would notice Dahmer was not holding the handcuffs. Holding onto the handcuff, so I guess like he was holding on to make sure he wouldn't do something stupid, and he would just go bow. He punched him right. Edwards punched Dahmer right in the face, knocked him off balance, and ran out the front door. And so at 11:30 p.m. on July 22nd, Edwards would flag down two officers, telling them, "Oh my God, this freak just handcuffed me. Like I need to go. I don't want to be here. I need to go." Right, and
the officers were like, okay, man, we'll go check it out. They go in. Okay, looks good. And then they leave.
So Edwards would ask the police officers to remove the cuffs, and their handcuff key failed to fit in the brand of handcuffs that Dahmer got. Yeah. And so Edwards would, for some reason, agree to accommodate the police officers to the apartment where Edwards stated he was, just to take the handcuffs off. And like, it's like, this dude is low-key giving me the creeps. I'm feeling weirded out.
Yeah, it's a big thing in the corner. It smells like gross.
Yeah, this
maybe check that out.
This like blue 57 gallon
like
drum
could hold a person.
Yeah, this drum. Like I don't know if you like seen those metal drums before that. Like,
no normal person has one of those in their house.
Like even I feel like somebody might argue like, oh, it's just like because like there's like a industrial style like houses like for like that aesthetic.
Maybe
but,
if
like,
your job,
weird.
it's a weird thing to have.
As a job, either like as having.
I don't even know what job. In your
bedroom.
bedroom's really weird. Like that'd be in your garage or like your.
Yeah, that makes more sense to be in the garage. But anything else, it's just a bit confusing.
Yeah.
And so, the Dahmer would be like, "Hey," when they're outside his door, would be like, "Hey, open up the door." And Dahmer will be like, "You know what? We're chill. We're chill. And he didn't have the knife on him at that time, right? And so Edwards would tell the officers like, "Hey, this dude, this psychopath, threatened me with a knife.
Yeah.
Like, you need to lock him up right now.
Like, get him."
And so, the officer's like, "We're chill. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
And so, Dahmer wouldn't comment about like Edwards threatening him and telling him like, "Hey, this psychopath, blah blah." And he just didn't like react.
No comment, just like stone face.
Yeah, poker face. and he would say the key to the handcuffs was in his bedside dresser.
Mhm.
And one of the officers tried to enter the bedroom, but Dahmer's like, "I'll go get the key myself. You don't need to worry about that."
That's a
And
really.
the officer was like, "Back up.
I'm gonna go
Please
get
back
it.
up. Yeah, I'm gonna go get it.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can stand there being questioned."
That's not. I don't know why you tell that to an officer. Like, oh no, man, let me get it. You don't go in there.
Like that's like
That
instantly
would just
a red
annoy an
flag.
officer. I think even
Yeah.
if they didn't, even if you weren't Jeffrey Dahmer, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Excuse me, pardon me." And so, in the bedroom, they would find the large knife beneath the bed, and the officer would be like, "Oh shit,
Yeah, this
this
guy's.
might be serious."
Mhm.
And so he would open the drawer, and it showed the drawer contained Polaroid pictures of many of which that were human bodies in various stage of dismemberment. And he was like, "Oh fuck, you're lying."
Yeah.
And at first he thought it was fake,
Mhm.
but then again, he noticed the decor in the pictures when he was observing the apartment.
Yeah, it was the
Was
same.
the same decor in that chamber. He's like, "Okay,
So it's real.
maybe this shit isn't fake."
Mhm.
And he would bring the Polaroids out with the key, the cuff key.
Mhm.
And that's when Dahmer saw the officer was holding several of his Polaroids, and he would try to resist arrest.
Mhm.
And the officers quickly overpowered him, calling for backup. And they would open the refrigerator to find a freshly severed head of a black male on the bottom shelf. And after a detailed search of his apartment, this is everything they found.
Okay.
So in the kitchen, they'll find four several severed heads. They would find 7 skulls, some painted, some bleached, in Dahmer's bedroom and inside his closet. In the refrigerator, they'll find blood dripping on a tray at the bottom of Dahmer's fridge, 2 human hearts, a portion of arm muscle wrapped inside plastic bags on the shelf. And in his freezer, they will find an entire torso and a bag of human organs and flesh. And they would also, around the apartment, they find 2 entirely kept skeletons, like preserved, and a pair of several severed hands, 2 severed and preserved penises, and a mummified scalp.
Ew.
And there's more. In the
Okay.
57-gallon drum, they will find dismembered torsos dissolving in acid that he was dissolving before. And in a total of 74 Polaroid pictures dealing the dismemberment of Dahmer's victims were found. Right?
Yikes.
Detailing. So I don't know if you've heard of that trend before, but there was a trend when the Netflix series about Jeffrey Dahmer came out,
Uh-huh.
where it was like, I just want to take some pictures.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. That's weird. It was weird that they were doing that, especially because like a lot of the victims, like it's not that long ago. Like the people that know the people that died are still alive. This is pretty weird.
Yeah, it's
Like the families
very-
of people that died are still alive. Like they know. Like it's not like an old thing for them.
yeah, it's really controversial about talking about that because I know a lot of people dislike it, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like I've never watched it. I don't think I would.
I think it's just because
want
like
to.
it's just because a lot of the people, it's like cashing out on a bunch of people's real life trauma that happened with a real person. Like, because to everybody else
Yes.
watching it, it's just like a thing that happened. But like
Yeah.
to real people whose lives it still affects you to this day, they're in it and they're like, you know, they probably don't want like that to
And
exist.
it could also be that like
Seeing
your
your kid or
kid-
your brother, your best friend, like as just like a name of like this guy died to Jeffrey Dahmer. Like you don't want your friend to be remembered like that.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be.
It's upsetting. And so the medical examiner later states that it was more like dismantling someone's museum than an actual crime scene because of how much he had in his
Mhm.
house, right? And so in the early hours of July 23rd, 1991, Dahmer was questioned about the murders he committed and the evidence found in his apartment. Dahmer waived his rights to have a lawyer present through his interrogations, and he wished to confess everything because he created this horror, and it only made sense he would do everything to put an end to it. End quote. Right.
Mhm.
He admitted to having murdered 16 men in Wisconsin in 1987 and one further victim, Stephen Higgins,
Mhm.
in Ohio in 1978. That's the one he was like,
The
hey,
very
you want
first one, and they took a year off, 2 years off break.
No, that was Stephen Higgins. No.
Who's
Oh
that
yeah,
one?
yeah. I think so.
Okay, yeah, that was the one when he was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Steven was the first one.
Yeah, I forgot. Damn, you have better memory than me, bro. What the fuck? Hey guys, and I'm the one that writes the scripts. Give me a break.
I mean, maybe I should write it. I'm kidding.
Girl, please. So most of Dahmer's victims were rendered unconscious before the murder, although some have died to results of having acid or boiling water injected into their brains, right?
Mhm.
And so Dahmer would actually have I don't know if you remember, but he had no memory of killing his second victim,
Yeah,
Stephen
because
Toomey.
that's really crazy to me. I totally forgot about that. But like that he just was asleep and then it was just that's
So
crazy.
he was unsure whether he was unconscious when beaten to death,
Mhm.
but he believed he might have saw the exposed chest of Toomey when drunk and may have led him to unsuccessfully attempting to tear Toomey's heart from his chest.
Oh.
Like it's giving some like I want to eat your heart out. And,
Yeah.
like he's like probably like that's why he has a lot of bruising on his chest. He's trying to dig and like
Yeah.
scrape.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm like a nervous laughter too.
Yeah, because I always like every time you're talking about like the drilling thing, I like reach for my head or the chest. Like
Oh yeah, I get like sometimes like when I think about it, I like like I have to like
yeah,
gotta make sure it's there.
yeah. It's gotta like keep it safe, keep it locked in.
So Dahmer would admitted to engaging in necrophilia with several of his victims' bodies, performing sexual acts with them, and as he dismembered their bodies as well in his bathtub. And
Mhm.
so it was just nasty, bro. Oh God. So Dahmer would actually how he would dismember them, he would first remove their internal organs, then suspend the torso so the blood drained into his bathtub before dicing any organs he didn't wish to keep.
Mhm.
The bones he wanted to dispose of were acidified and pulverized, which was like smashed to smithereens.
Yeah.
Right. And the ones he wished to keep were preserved with the help of Soilex and bleach solutions. And Dahmer confessed to consuming the hearts, liver, biceps, and portions of the thigh of 3 victims. So Raymond Smith, Ernest Miller, and Oliver Lancey.
Mm-hmm.
So Dahmer would keep the flesh and organs of other victims to eat later. Those were like the ones in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Dahmer would tenderize the body parts before consuming them with various condiments. Like it's just like a normal meal.
Yeah.
Oh, so nasty. And so I actually heard human flesh is like chicken.
Yeah. A lot of things taste like chicken. Like tarantulas taste like chicken.
Oh really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
People eat those. Where they
Or like does chicken have like this certain
It's like a chemical. I watched a food theory video about this. Like there's a chemical. There's a chemical in chicken that like makes it taste like chicken, and a lot of things. That chemical's in a lot of things.
Oh.
And depending on how you cook it, it can come out more.
Oh, that's interesting.
Jeffrey Dahmer would know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
So, he would say he would say he consumed his victims at first due to curiosity, but now he said, I suppose in an odd way, it made me feel like they were more a permanent part of me. So here's a thing about cannibalism.
Mm-hmm.
So cannibalism in symbolism, it means like a deeper form of love.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you know about these ideas, but like if you eat someone, now they're a part of you forever. Like you will always have them. That's like the deeper part of cannibalism.
Yeah.
So that's what he saw, because there is actually a murder of this dude that really idolized cannibalism. He will only eat someone if
He
they
cared. Like
they allowed him one, and if they truly had romantic interest in each other, and he would eat them. He actually did eat them.
Whoa, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and so
as long as it's consensual, which it was.
Actually, cannibalism is not actually illegal. It's the acts you have to do to get to cannibalism.
I don't think cannibalism should be illegal. I think if someone wants you to eat them, I think it's fine. It's their business.
So yeah, and so Dahmer would, he truly believed that, and he would be questioned on why he kept a total of 7 skulls, and an entire skeleton of 2 victims, and he would state that he was in the process of constructing a private altar of victim skulls, which he had intended to display on a black table located in his living room.
Mhm.
So he would use the four severed heads we found in the kitchen, and their flesh would be removed and used for the altar as well.
Mhm.
Incense sticks will be placed at the end of these black tables.
Mhm.
Excuse me. He intended to place a large blue lamp with extended blue globe lights above the altar. The entire construction will be placed before a window covered with a black opaque shower curtain. And in front of the altar, Dahmer intended to sit in a black leather chair. So they actually drew this out.
Dude, he was an edgelord. That's what he was. He was like super edgy, and he liked The Exorcist, and he was chanting. He was a dork. That's
So if you look up online, there's a picture they actually drew. So it will be the skulls arranged at the front of the altar.
Mhm.
The two skeletons will be right here, and so
that's kind of cool, in like a very morbid
so
way.
weird. And so they would be like, "Oh, what is this altar dedicated to?" And he would be like, "Myself."
What an odd thing to say.
So, and it was a place where he could feel at home, and I quote, right?
Yeah.
And he described that his intentions for this altar was a place of meditation where he believed he could draw a sense of power, adding if his arrest happened like 6 months later,
Uh huh.
this was what they could have found
I
instead.
see.
But they just found like the black table, right?
Mhm.
And so at the trial, we were right. So Dahmer was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder
Mhm.
and schizotypal personality disorder, which we
Yeah,
just
talked
looked up, and a psychotic disorder.
Mhm.
So he was found to be legally sane. So it is very, you can say you're insane, but in order to be legally insane for trial, it is quite difficult to
Yeah,
get
you have
that.
to prove that
You
you don't
have to be
understand cause and effect, and like,
Mhm. You
and he
have to
definitely
be
does.
incompetent. Like you have to be extreme. You cannot think for yourself. Like
Yeah.
you can't. Like you can't do anything.
But he
for
definitely
yourself.
can. Like, he definitely was smart.
Yes.
He lied to the
And you have to be
officers.
conscious about like what you're doing. Like
Yeah,
not. I
if
mean,
you
not
can,
conscious.
if he lie, if you lie at any point, like a conscious lie, then you
You
pretty
knew
much
what you're
instantly
doing.
are disqualified for being considered insane.
Exactly. And so, on February 17, 1992, Dahmer was convinced of 15 of the 16 homicides
Mhm.
he committed in Wisconsin and sentenced to 16 life sentences.
Mhm.
In 1978, he will later be sentenced to his 16 life term with an additional homicide committed in Ohio. Wait,
Mhm.
no. 16, 17? Oh, no. So, okay. February 17, 1992,
Mhm.
he had um he was convicted of the 15 homicides, right?
Mhm.
So 15 licenses, and it became 16 after
They added
1978.
when they
Okay.
confirmed more deaths.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Gotcha.
So Dahmer was captured in 1991.
Mm.
He was sentenced to those many life sentences, 16. And on November 28th, 1994, Dahmer was beaten to death by Christopher Scarve, a fellow prisoner inmate. And this
What?
was in so that's how he died.
Why?
He was just beaten to death.
Yeah, but
So
why did he beat him up?
it's actually, I don't know. Like I tried looking into it. Some people said, "Oh, he didn't like Dahmer."
Oh, there's probably not information. Like, you'd have to ask him, and I don't think he like anyone.
Okay, so the thing about prisons, do you know there's a hierarchy in prisons?
There is, like, what do you mean? Like, among the prisoners, there's a hierarchy of people. Okay.
So like the top is like mafia or
Drug dealers, like
something.
people that made a bunch of money and had a bunch of people working for them.
Yeah, kind of. And so at the bottom, guess who's always at the bottom?
People that touch kids. Yeah.
Child predators and some rapists.
So he probably just got beat up and killed because of that.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that.
Especially in prison, if somebody finds out, like to this day, like during present time,
Mhm.
if someone finds out, everybody in prison is your op.
Mhm.
Not only is the guard your op.
Yeah, because like the guards already don't like you, but so are all the prisoners.
Yeah. So do the prisoners don't like you because most of them have kids. And
Yeah.
they're like, or they've experienced something like that, and they'll be like, "Get the fuck out of here! I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
And since this is prison.
There's not much like anytime it's just no cops are around, there's no cameras, which is a lot of places because prisons are kind of like that. Unfortunately, they'll probably just die, or they get died or be other times they're really terrible. But I don't care though. I think that like if you touch kids, you probably should. Like that sucks.
Yeah. So that's the case of Jeffrey Dahmer, and that is our
And he died.
final part.
The end.
The
We got him.
end.
We got him.
All right.
Okay, I have to go to class.
You have to go to class.
Yes,
All
bro.
right. Well, I'm your host Lucy, and this is
Zeil, and I'm going to class. It's a pleasure being here, y'all.
I'll
Goodbye.
be here editing. Bye bye.